Hey detectives, welcome to the crew. I'm Sailor Agenda, and this is my Let's Play of Disco Elysium. In the last episode, we went looking for some communists, and I think we finally found them, with any luck.
Metal
Right
grill,
up here,
you
okay.
can hear several voices having what appears to be an animated discussion. This must be it. Beyond this door lies the beating heart of radical communism in Martinez. Somehow, the night air softens the smell of trash and sea brine. As the breeze pulls through the canvas like a shuttle through a loom, you catch a hint of something unexpected, something earthy, warm, and burnt. The acrid smell of failure.
That sounds right.
No, that's just slightly burnt coffee.
Ah.
A smell you would recognize anywhere.
Sounds
Just look at these pigs sniffing about after hours.
right. Did you tell me the secret door was right behind you,
Must
Cindy?
have slipped my mind. You know how it goes.
She gives you a lackadaisical shrug.
The metal grill is cool to the touch.
Yeah, pretty sure she just hates cops.
You notice the lieutenant is looking uncustomarily anxious. His posture is rigid. His right hand hovers near the zipper of his jacket.
He's gonna shoot the
He
communists.
wants so badly to draw his armistice, but he also doesn't want to draw it.
Relax, Kim, they're just communists.
Something's not right here. The equation doesn't quite balance.
He taps his foot and takes a deep breath.
Which is just to say, we should be prepared for any eventuality.
Alright,
You
try to
can
listen.
make out at least two separate voices. Two voices, both male, approximately early 20s.
Careful with those now. I have it. It's going to work. I can feel it.
You can hear, and the clang of metal reverberates all along the scaffolding. The voices coming from the other side fall silent.
Who's there? Is that you, Maurice?
You all communists? I'm looking for some communists.
Who said communist? Did we say communist? Get out of here.
Listen, I've built like 0.0001% of communism, but I need to get organized. Can you help?
For a moment, silence.
What's the passphrase?
It's, oh, it was this one, right? Remember the Breva and the Abadanese?
There's no response. You begin to wonder whether they've slipped out some back way.
Alright. The key's taped to the back of the door frame. Just make sure you put it back when you're done, or we'll all be locked out. And don't wash the concrete. It just kind of falls away, in places.
Charmant. After you, detective.
Have fun at your underground meeting, pig. Hope it's a blast.
Are you about to be exploded?
The two young men are either oblivious to or ignoring your entrance.
Neither
Their
of those things is
attentions
a
are
bomb.
fixed on whatever it is they're stacking in the middle of the floor.
Kinda looks like dominoes or something.
Matchboxes, it appears.
Ah,
I think it's holding, Alexis.
alright, step on.
It is. It's holding.
It's definitely not holding. Those matchboxes are stacked so haphazardly, it's like they want them to collapse.
Careful, careful.
No, no, the matchboxes. Oh god. Oh no.
Damn, hardly any difference.
The young man shakes his head and then looks up at you and the lieutenant with barely concealed irritation.
You two, you are late.
They
Sorry.
should know the meeting starts at 10 p.m. sharp.
His companion looks up at you and squints.
There's a great deal of tension in this young man's shoulders, more than someone his age should bear. Meanwhile, his companion inclines toward him, eager to catch every word that dribbles from his friend's mouth. Don't let them see you flustered, sire. Play along.
My apologies, comrades. I had to be sure I wasn't being tailed by our class enemies. The young man considers you a moment.
We all have to take precautions, especially during these delicate times. What matters is that you've made it, and that you've done the reading.
Done the reading?
Uh-oh. No one said anything about reading. You'll just have to wing this one.
Kim, did you do the reading?
No, detective. The only reading I've been doing is right here.
The lieutenant holds up his little blue notebook.
I have not had time to seek out pretentious communist book clubs, nor have I done their reading.
Tragic.
Doesn't sound like they've done the reading, Staban.
Well, this is getting awkward. I'm not sure what you're expecting to find here then.
Maybe they can explain themselves.
What exactly are you doing here?
In the most generous sense, I would say we're cultivating revolutionary consciousness.
Yes, that's probably the best way to describe it.
But more specifically, we are running a reading group. The most rigorous and theoretically advanced materialist reading group in Martinez.
They're not violent revolutionaries, they're just student
Comrade
activists
Staban
at
is
best.
a great discussion leader. One of the best at the university.
It's obvious they take this group of theirs extremely seriously. Whatever you do, don't compare it to a common book club.
Is this where I can square off in theory combat?
We have been known to get into some spirited debates, but it's always in service of our larger intellectual and ideological project.
Precisely. We are not interested in senseless parroting. We like to read critically.
Within the contours of Mazovian historical materialism, of course.
So what do you actually read?
We study all the foundational texts of Mazovian theory, of course. Just last week we finished the second volume of Puncher and Watman's Innocence of Capital.
Truly extraordinary.
And before that we spent 6 weeks on State and Plasm.
For some reason, the word plasm catches
What the hell
in
is
your
plasm?
ear like a piece of old wax. Uh-oh. You can feel your attention span rapidly deteriorating.
Uh-oh.
We've also read Wertmüller's The Megastructure of History, and before that, Real and Reality.
Communist theorists love puns, in case that wasn't obvious.
Clearly.
Hablars une paix infernale.
The original Fizdale translation, not that watered-down revisionist garbage.
These two deserve the Order of Honor for bullshitting. There's no way they've actually read all this stuff.
They could have.
Obviously.
He snorts.
But, of course, our special emphasis is on the theories of Ignace Nilsson and his followers, especially the inframaterialists.
With the inframaterialists.
You're not familiar with him? It's pretty advanced stuff. You may not be ready for it yet, gendarme.
The two young men exchange skeptical side glances. Alright, but then who's Ignace Nilsson?
Only Krasmazov's most trusted lieutenant, the evangelist of the revolution, and the founding father of the People's Republic of Samara.
It's hard to overstate how unimpressed he is that you've never heard of this world historical individual.
Yeah.
He also happens to be the greatest communist theorist after Mazov himself. It was Nilsson who first postulated the existence of ideological plasm, which forms the basis of inframaterialist theory.
Those words again. You've got to find out what this inframaterialist stuff is all about. Whatever it is, one thing's perfectly clear. These young students have a much deeper understanding of communism than you do. You could learn a thing or two from them. If you can convince them you're one of them. The young man sighs. His companion looks about furtively.
Where's the rest of you?
What do you mean? This is the reading group.
Are there just two of you?
We're in something of a rebuilding phase.
Some of our former comrades didn't have the ideological fortitude our work demands.
What happened to them?
Intellectual attrition is maybe the best way to describe it. Felix said he couldn't keep up with the reading on top of his classwork. And Susanna wanted to read text other than Mazovian theory. Like novels, if you can believe it.
Unbelievable. Who reads anything other than hardcore Mazovian theory?
Imagine the audacity of wanting to read a novel in a reading group.
Unbelievable.
See? Even the gendarme gets it.
We've tried recruiting new members, but unfortunately the current intellectual climate is pretty hostile to inframaterialist thought. These days, if you're on the left, the ascendant schools are the Godwallians and their iconoclasts.
Oh god, they're not even mainstream communists.
Don't forget about Maurice and the turnips.
Right. Then there was the whole turnip debacle.
Turnips?
It's an unfortunate story. You see, our ex-comrade Maurice is something of an economist.
He's studying macro and microeconomics.
I see.
A real intellectual, it sounds like.
The lieutenant arches his eyebrows.
Right. So a few weeks ago we were discussing the extra physical capabilities of the revolutionary state. And Morris said, what were his exact words, Ulysses?
It was unbelievable. He said, turnips don't care if they are grown by communists, moralists, or Vulcan. They grow just the same.
I mean, they do.
Basically, he was rejecting the whole foundation of inframaterialist theory.
What is this inframaterialist business they keep blathering about? You've never heard of anything like it.
What does inframaterialist theory say about turnips again?
Simply that under suitably revolutionary conditions, crop yields naturally increase relative to non-revolutionary crops, which Morris somehow has the gall to deny.
Well, yeah, like, pretty left-wing, but no.
Susanna said that he has been hanging out with some non-communists lately.
For us, the question boiled down to, if you don't even accept the basic ideas of Nielsen and inframaterialist theory, why are you in the reading group?
So you expelled him over an argument about turnips?
Well, it wasn't so much that he was expelled.
He just quit coming. We haven't seen him around for weeks.
Okay, what did the Gottwaldians do to you?
They're the most depressing school of communism. They love writing long books with a patina of Mazovian theory to cover up their cheap psychologizing.
A gang of cheap psychologists and intellectual midgets. Typical Gottwalders, in other words.
It's okay for Uli to say that, because his dad is from Gottwald.
It's so depressing about their theories.
The Gottwald school believe that intellectuals as a class are incapable of sparking revolutionary change. So all they can do is critique capitalism from inside itself.
Yeah, they're literally 100% correct about that, I have no doubt.
In other words, they have lost faith in their own relevance.
That's why they spend all their time smoking cigarettes and writing long works of criticism that make you want to commit suicide.
That, however, sounds miserable.
It is miserable. That's probably why they're always committing suicide. You see, the Gottwald school look like communists. They talk like communists. But scratch the patina and you'll see beneath that they're just depressed liberals who've read too many books.
Okay, that's most modern communists, to be fair. What about the iconoclasts?
For starters, they love talking about beans.
Beans?
That's right. Iconoclasts are obsessed with beans. They love thinking about beans. They love counting beans. But most of all, they love building models to predict how many beans there'll be in the future.
Nota bene, iconoclast is an extra pejorative form of the already pejorative name Mazovian economists, a moderate school of Mazovianism which advocates the gradual transition to communism through carefully managed economic modernization rather than violent social revolution.
This would be preferred.
They're by far the most bean-centric school of communism.
Are the beans a metaphor?
If only. They've got all the beans accounted for in their asset sheets, their quarterly budgets, their future projections. But for some reason, there are never enough beans to go around. So we've just got to cut our bean rations in half.
And next thing you know, there are budget cuts, so now we've got to cut the bean rations in half again. You see, iconoclasts claim to be communists, but in reality they're just liberals with hard-ons for spreadsheets.
Okay. Are the liberals also liberals?
Of course not. The only people who actually call themselves liberals are mouth-foaming reactionaries.
Alright.
Basically indistinguishable from fascists. You'd need an X-ray machine to tell the difference.
Is Cindy part of the group?
Cindy is... how to describe her role?
Something of an ideological auxiliary, perhaps.
Yes, that's exactly how I would put it. And naturally, we support her radical counter-liberal aesthetics.
But she refuses to submit an essay, so we can't call her a member of the group per se.
Not
That
surprising.
doesn't stop her from using the room for studio space, of course.
Alright.
Go ahead.
What did you want with the batch boxes?
The young man frowns at the little pile of boxes on the floor.
Nothing, just messing around until the meeting started.
They're watching those matchboxes awfully intently for two guys who are just messing around. It's almost as though they were trying to create the most unstable structure they could, with predictable results.
Are you accepting new members?
We typically only accept new members once per semester. There's this whole process with essays and presentations on assigned topics.
Of course there is. The young man turns to his companion.
Given that we have some extra seating at the moment, I guess we could be convinced to expedite an application or two.
Steban, you can't be serious. For these gendarmes?
I am serious. As materialists, we got to adapt to conditions as they are. Besides, we still need to pass the interview portion of the entrance process.
Turns back to you.
Assuming he's even still interested, that is.
Still be here if I have
Sure.
more questions.
We're here most every night. Maybe we'll catch you again.
Sleep well, gendarme.
Take a look around. Try not to think about the cracks spidering out across the floor. A rickety easel surrounded by pots of goosh. Cindy's, no doubt. This one says, "No war but class war." This poster reads, "Under the cobblestones, communism." Coffee.
The gendarme returns. What do you need?
Does all this art stuff belong to Cindy?
Yeah, it's hers. She just sort of moved it all in a few months ago.
She said if she's going to make truly radical art, she needs a suitably radical workspace.
Fair enough.
And I don't think she could afford rent at an actual studio.
You like her art?
Oh, sure. It's definitely interesting, I would say.
Interesting. Isn't that just Binoclad for I don't have a real opinion?
Yes, but I'm gonna let it go.
I guess you could call her latest stuff a sort of counter-bourgeoisie calligraphy. She's got a real taste for radical slogans.
It's too
It's pretty
bad
good
she hasn't
slogans, yeah.
developed the theoretical foundation to do truly radical work.
I think she'll get there, though. She's still looking for a subject equal to her ambitions.
I kind of think the theoretical foundation is pretty useless, Steban. I mean, like, you have to know a little bit of theory, but not like... You don't have to read 10 books on communism. In fact, I don't think reading 10 books on communism makes you any better a socialist than if you'd read a few pages. As long as you grasp the essential principles. Okay, what's the deal with this place?
The deal? At a fundamental level, I guess you could call it the shattered bones of a dream crushed by capital.
A feeble and hopelessly mixed metaphor.
Yeah.
That's really good, Steban. You should save that for an essay.
Thanks, Uli. When the idea is sound, the words just sort of flow.
Yes, now keep developing the idea.
If this place is shattered bones, are we the bone weevils?
Yeah, that's not bad.
Not as good as Steban's original idea, though.
Alright, move
Go
on.
ahead.
Hold on. Save again, because I've had a bunch of talk.
The gendarme returns.
I should join the
What
reading
do
group.
you need?
What's there to be scared of? You've really been cracking the books these last few days. You can go toe-to intellectual toe with any reading group in Martinez. You've spent a not inconsiderable amount of time arranging the works in your mental library by theme and period. All the ideas and references you'll need are ready at hand. Now, chin up. You've got this.
Alright, let's do this.
You want to start now? Sure, we can manage that.
You've caught him off balance. The momentum is already in your favor.
Sure enough.
Go ahead and take a seat. Since we haven't had time to prepare an exhaustive questionnaire, I think we can keep this interview more freeform. Why don't you tell us a bit about the books you're interested in? And we'll just see where the conversation goes.
Well, I really like some political and historical subjects.
Absolutely. It's the only proper foundation to develop a real understanding of events.
I don't think I should bring up suzerainty. It seems very anti-communist.
Oh, right. We've been meaning to try that out.
This is a good start. They're starting to loosen up. You feel relaxed and in control. Soon you're engaged in a thoughtful back and forth about the relationship between theme and mechanics. Best of all, your arguments are liberally seasoned with references to particular historical events and personages.
But then my issue with these historical cue pushers is that they offer the illusion of subjectivity even as they reinscribe the logic of colonialism itself. Though I'd love to hear your take on it.
by allowing players to recreate historical events like the introduction of cocaine to Safre. Doesn't it force them to question what subjectivity means in a ludo-thematic context?
Interesting. So you're saying that in a certain sense the game plays the players as much as they play the game?
Then what does that make the game designers?
Mate, I'm not gonna lie, they're people working a job.
Anyway, we also enjoy a good board game every once in a while. The other week, Ulixes and I tried this new one where everyone is competing to manage their own zone of ecological catastrophe. You should see the components.
The irradiated waste tokens have this great metallic ochre sheen.
Delightful.
These kids are eating out of your hand, practically. Another quarter of an hour disappears. The questions come rapid fire, but you have an answer for every one. Now you can sense things starting to slow down. The interview must be reaching an inflection point.
But to Comrade Ulix's point, isn't there value in reading really difficult books just for the sheer challenge of it?
Should I just throw the interview? You know what, I gotta be honest with them. Look, I like books. I really, really like books. But to be straight with you, they're no substitute for a true story.
Okay, we'll bite. What sort of stories are we talking about?
How about a tale of adventure, intrigue, and daring do?
Tell you how I infiltrated Wild Pines for my investigation.
Sounds like old-fashioned revolutionary espionage. Let's see where this goes.
Yes, I'm rather curious myself.
Shut up,
Now
kid.
you're getting somewhere. These boys aren't even bothering to contain their interest. They want to see how you weave the threads of this story together. Even the lieutenant seems engrossed, despite your revealing details of an RCM investigation.
But I still don't see what the lady driver had to do with a strike standoff.
In all fairness, the whole situation is rather complicated.
That's just it, though. She was just one more pawn, just like how the Wild Pines rep tried to play me.
Clearly there's a lot of ins and outs. It almost reminds me of a Dick Mullen novel.
Another quarter of an hour disappears. The conversation bounces back and forth. Whatever their pretensions, it's clear these two have been craving something real. Now you can sense things starting to slow down. Time to wrap this tale up.
So anyway, currently I think she's somewhere along the coast.
Makes sense. It doesn't seem like there's anywhere else she could have gone. I suppose we'll have to leave it there. But listen, gendarme. We could use someone with your breadth of expertise. With just a little more theoretical background, I think you'll be able to make some real contributions.
Yes, I would say he's got serious potential at least.
And with that, welcome to the most ideologically advanced materialist reading group in Martinez. Here's your first assignment. It's an overview of inframaterialist theory. A little basic, as you'll see, but one has to start somewhere.
I'll add it to my
You're
reading
going
list.
to fit right in, I think. Come back when you're done. We'll be here pretty much every night after 10 p.m. Do be sure to take your time with the reading. We'll be eager to hear your thoughts.
Okay. Well, we probably will come back, but it's very obvious that communism is pretty much dead. Construction Fest. If the only people that are left are a couple of intellectual students with no actual actionable plans, they're just super into theory, yeah. I mean, it was pretty obvious already, but there's no hope of a communist revolution in this world anytime soon. Alright, so Joyce is gone. I should read this book, but not just yet. Let's, probably time to sleep, but I swear there was a fast travel that worked a minute ago. Oh, you know what else I should do is I should tell Kim to take care of this body now, finally.
The bear's eyes are still glowing red. It's guarding over the freezing corpse hidden inside its belly.
Alright, Kim, bag him and take him away. He takes out a shiny black plastic body bag and starts pulling the plastic over the dead man's face.
I will need a little help carrying him. You take the hands, I'll take the legs.
Bag it and drag it. Finally got rid of the corpse, only took another 4 days. Alright, it's just me now. Can I open this thing yet?
This orange machine is... You slip your fingers under the frozen... You need to have the Gaval...
Equip the multi-tool.
Yes, it's kind of random that you have to have these in your hand. Considering it's pretty trivial to... But yes, let me spend a skill point. Let's see here. I'm gonna boost endurance, just sake of it. The false multi-tool back in my hand.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it, slow.
17%, huh? But wait, hold on. I'm still doing this, which is causing -2 physical instruments, so we will come back in the morning and be able to crack that open, I think. For now, it's... Okay, what did I do to unlock fast travel there? Whatever. Let's go to bed.
It's getting late, and it's raining. Time to call it a day.
Agreed.
On the table, you see a bowl of water, a rough soap, and next to it, a small hand mirror. A straight razor soaks inside the wash basin.
Let's wash the smell of death off
Scrubbing
ourselves.
all the necrotic tissue off your hands takes a while. The fingernails are especially hard. Death has made its way into every nook and cranny.
Oh boy.
Should have used gloves. Detectives
Pretty
use
sure I
gloves
was wearing gloves,
when they
no?
go rummaging around in
I think
someone's
I'm
dead
always
brain.
wearing gloves, I think.
But man persists, and finally, your bruised hands look clean and presentable. Sort of. The sudden absence of the morbid dead tissue smell is uplifting.
Outstanding.
An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see your reflection in it. The expression.
Sleep.
The bed is comforting. Yep. The bed underneath you is soft, if lumpy. Waves wash the sand underneath the hut, then grow distant to your ear. In the quiet hum of the organic heater, you fall asleep.
Very good.
Like a deftly cast fishing net, sleep pulls you out of the world and into its dark shore. The rough mesh chafes, tightening around you, it digs into your brain.
Yeah, just let me sleep.
How have things been going for you out there? Helped anyone lately? Saved anyone lately? Murdered anyone lately?
Maybe a little.
This bastard isn't even listening to you.
Yeah.
Because you know you are a murderer. A disco music listening psycho killer who offs poor people and then forgets about it.
Shut up, I just want to sleep.
Hear
brain.
that? Iceman wants to sleep. He doesn't care about killing people. That's nothing to him. Black water under the bridge. The thing he's really scared of is much, much worse than that.
What is it?
Don't tell him, sister. It's too bad.
Why are you doing this? I just want to sleep. I can almost see the dark.
We're trying to help you. All these processes, these tortures, voices and tremors are all just distractions, flares and countermeasures to keep you from the last dream. The worst of them all.
The last dream?
The last dream will be total annihilation. Cinders peeling off the fuselage. We won't be there to help you anymore, Harry. We will be dormant. You will be naked and alone.
Refuse to think about the woman anymore.
Oh, but you will. You're already going there. Slipping. How long can we keep you from the precipice? One more dream? 2 max, baby. Then it's
Air will smell of apricots.
of hell. An ancient sadness, brother. 10,000 years later, in front of the video rental, there is a warm breath on your face again. Everything is okay again.
Everything is so okay.
Doesn't sound that okay.
Your eyelids flutter open for a moment. When you close them again, you sense the light of the room around you. You're back. In 2 seconds, the alarm will ring.
Well, guess we're awake. Not a sleeping well type of person, are we? Crikey. Our limbic system and ancient reptilian brain have got to leave us alone. Alright, let's find Joyce and let's find Mr. Union Leader. Hey, Kim. Thanks for watching, detectives. New parts will be up every other day, or you can watch live on Twitch. If you did enjoy, consider leaving a like and subscribing. And have a nice day, detectives. This is Sea Lord Jenda, signing off.